Brian, I'm curious to learn what's one assumption an educator or a friend has had about you you wish they knew was not true.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked me this question because I reflected on it a bit, and I think what came to mind for me is an assumption that people have had of me either in my academic experiences and professional experiences is, oh, you're really adept at this thing, like fill in the blank, like you're just naturally good at it. So, like in the K through 12, in my K through 12 experience, that was really primarily centered around math. So I showed kind of some strength in math at an early age. Like I won a math competition in my school a couple times, and so from there, everyone just assumed that like I was just really good at math, and that I just understood it kind of naturally, and didn't have to try to understand it or anything like that. And then more recently, in my professional role now, I mean, I still use math to some extent, but I'm also doing a lot of other I think people would consider like different creative types of things: graphic design, photography, videography, web design, coming up with like a communications ecosystem, using analytics, all those sorts of things. And so now I think there's an assumption of like, oh, you just really understand this stuff really well. You're really good at it. But a lot of it is, I think, just coming at it initially from a point of curiosity and inquisitiveness and interest, and then really just diving deep into getting a lot of practice in with whatever it is that's interesting to you, and making a lot of mistakes along the way and learning from those mistakes and continuing to grow to really increase your capacities in whatever it is that you're focusing on, and increase kind of what you envision you're capable of, in any of those disciplines or whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Thank you for that. We've had at least one brief conversation on the book, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. And just the other day, I was listening to a podcast by him where he, because of all his research on learning science and how the brain works, he gets invited to become consultants to random professionals around the world. So he was at this Major League Baseball game, I guess a year back or so. And before the game, the pregame warm-up was they would have their batters like hit these like really amazing, beautiful like shots, but it was because the warm-up pitches were like thrown at like 50 miles per hour, which is about half the speed as in-game pitches. And
Mm.
he had asked the offensive coach, it's like, well, this is cool that they're hitting these beautiful shots before the game, but how much is this really helping, right? So in the context of learning, in the context of staying curious, our hope is along the challenging journey of finishing classes and making those classes relevant and valuable, like be curious, right? Ask questions, see how you can improve, see how you can potentially use the things that you're learning or the habits or skills you're developing in your actual courses so that you can set yourself up for more opportunities in the future. That is hopefully a takeaway you might consider from this clip. Thanks.